So it's a movie that takes place in two worlds. One is supposed to be the real life, and the other one is his dreams. So the movie is going back and forth between his dreams induced by a pill that allows you to have like ultra crystal clear lucid dreams. He can dream whatever he wants. And because he's grieving his girlfriend that died recently in a horrible accident, he's taking the pills in order to dream of her again, which sounds like a really tempting but bad idea at the end of the day. Everything horrible that happens to the character in the first half of the film, all the horrible stuff, I mean, grief, depression, addiction, I'm sad that that's the real inspiration for this film. Like all the horrible state of mind that he's going through. This is I know that this is a big depressing answer, but the movie is less depressing than this answer.
We find Nicholas at the top of the movie, really in the depths of despair. It's been about 6 months since his girlfriend, the love of his life, passed away. And like all of us, we find different ways of recovering or managing these kind of emotions, and Nick just can't find the way. And a friend offers up an escape, which is through this experimental treatment for lucid dreaming. And for me, it was the idea of delving into a character that starts at his lowest. We often find our characters sort of high on life, everything's going well, then they come across some sort of obstacle, they have to overcome it, and they come out the hero at the end. This is pretty much the exact reverse. He's low, he finds the way out, and then we discover that with that way out comes a lot of complications and brings out a lot of depressing characteristics of Nick, and very selfish ones. And I think when we come across these choices of bringing somebody we love so much back to life, we tend to choose those selfish choices, and that's what he does.
It was very challenging character for me, and I really enjoyed playing this woman who's not fully a woman at the beginning. She's just a memory. She's a projection of Henry's character feelings. And so for me to play that was great because, you know, she goes through different stages, and in the beginning she's just a doll, and then she slowly grows in the film. And sometimes also that, I know it's something that it's out of the blue, but sometimes also like, you know, being a woman, kind of learning who you are and then like growing and starting to question yourself and why you're there, what's happening to you. And there's some sort of control that Henry's character, Nick, is doing on her. And I think sometimes when you lose something, when you lose someone, it can feel that way. It can feel that you don't want that person to go. You don't want that person to leave, to a point that you want to keep her to yourself, and you're not letting, you know, that person be whoever she wants to be. It was great for me to play that. It was also because when you play someone who's just a memory and is not fully a person, you always have to find ways to portray that energy and to also to make sure that when you're not there, something's missing, because that's, you know, what I was trying to do.
This is something that I fully realized yesterday watching the film in front of the audience for the first time. I suddenly realized that her transformation, the curve of the character, is more detailed and more defined than what it came from the script. The curve is softer, like it's more pronounced, it's way more sophisticated. There was a lot of little nuances that I wasn't able to see until yesterday, which means that maybe I'm a bad filmmaker because I should be aware of anything that happens in front of camera. But yesterday I was like, look at that, oh my God.
It was great. Also, like, Nacho gave us so much freedom on set to just play and do whatever we felt like doing, and he always had a clear vision, which is something that I loved. Like, you can tell that he knew what he was doing, even if he pretended that you weren't, but he knew he had a vision, and it was that vision. And he would tell us to do specific things. And sometimes I wouldn't understand it because his way of like thinking is so creative. It's so unique.
Is my English also
no.
a problem here?
No, it's not that. It's like
sometimes it's
no,
like a
no. It wasn't the English. It was like you want to be a shark with a gun. I'm like, why? Why is this happening? And then he would tell me to do specific things. But I think that when you trust someone that you're working with, you just go with it. So that's how I felt. Nacho said this, so I have to trust him. And once you begin to trust who you're working with, say with Henry, you just feel this freedom, and that's how I felt.
That's the core of making films, like the little accidents and the little occurrences that are born at the moment. As the movie like spirals into chaos, I just wanted the audience to be sure about which side of the war we were looking at. I wanted that thing to be like crystal clear. Like, okay, we are either here or there. We are either awake or sleeping. Because later, once we start to turn the rules upside down, I still need the audience to know where we are. And so we wanted to make a really radical difference between the formal aspects of those two worlds. And initially, when I wrote the script, I was it was kind of boring because I played, okay, black and white versus color, which is like the only clear way. So we were like 1 month into shooting, and we stayed, they were like, this is a no black and white, you have to find something else. And we had this panic attack, and we came up with something that is way more radical than black and white, which is using the real old Betacam tapes that we were using in 1995 to shoot horrible short films. The same camera, the same tapes.
And I realized last night when I was watching it that when you see an image that you can tell that it's from an older camera, all of a sudden, for some reason, you just feel something that reminds you of, I mean, for me, when I was younger, and there's something that it's a very strange feelings, like watching this film that had those images.
Don't you feel like you can somehow perceive the camera, like like it's a documentary?
Yeah.
It's like finding an old tape of your parents' wedding. It's like a time travel in a way. Like, okay, this is myself looking something that if I made 25 years ago, it will look the same.
I think you might be the first person to put CGI onto.
Oh yeah.
Tape.
Yeah, that is tricky. That is really tricky. Yeah, you try to make this kind of simple, intimate, small story between two characters, and then your brain finds a way to make things more convoluted and complicated, and so that happens all the time.